Today, I'll be taking you step by step through how I achieve a polished look for all the photos I use in my Etsy vintage listings. We'll be looking at how I process photos for this particular green canister. It's a Tierra Chantilly sandwich glass canister from Indiana Glass. It's approximately 9 inches tall and 5.5 inches in diameter. Last week, I knew my video about the 5 things customers need from Etsy listings would spark a few questions about how I get my photos ready for listings. So today I'm going to dedicate this video to exactly what I do to create a collected look in my shop when it comes to my listing photos. If you recall, I made this video a few months ago about using Etsy's product photos app. Well, they've discontinued that app. So today I'm going to show you my new routine. And I also think I've figured out how to use Canvas's photo to 5-second video tool. Believe me, there was a lot of trial and error there. So later on in this video, I will demonstrate that too. Hi, I'm Carol. My shop on Etsy is called V Vintage Collectibles, and on this channel I talk about sourcing, selling, and living with vintage. Now before we get into the photo routine, and I won't make this a long introduction, but I want to be clear about the tool I'm using today. I do use Canva Pro, and I also use other paid tools in my business like Etsy Plus and ChatGPT. This is not a Canva endorsement. I don't have a link or a special deal for you. They are not sponsoring this video. And this routine is not limited to one program. You can remove and replace backgrounds in many different editing tools. For me, a few carefully chosen tools are simply part of the cost of running my Etsy shop well. I think of them in the same way I used to think about booth rent or display supplies. Business expenses that help me present my items better and work more efficiently. So today I'm not really teaching a Canva trick. You guys know I don't do tricks. I'm not about tricks. I'm not about hacks. I'm showing you the photo polish routine I use to make my listings look more consistent, more intentional, and more like they belong together in my shop. Now, as is photos from my phone, when I take them, even if they're cropped on my phone, they don't really fit the aesthetic that I want my shop to have. I have a small photo box, the sides show, the scratches show. It does a good job of lighting the object, but the background leaves a lot to be desired. So today I will be working with photos for this canister. The photos I'll work with are a full-on shot. And you can see from looking at my photo box, it's not a desirable photo to begin with. I will be able to zoom in when I remove the background. I used to crop all of my photos before I downloaded them from my drive, but it's really just an added step that I don't need to be wasting my time on. Now, the only thing I crop on my phone is my video. Inside of the lid, I'm going to show that there are no chips. On the bottom of the canister, I'm going to show the pretty flower pattern. I'm also going to show the top view of the lid because it has a beautiful design. I want to show the top rim of the canister without the lid to show that there aren't any chips. I'll show that the total height measurement is approximately 9 inches. And I will show that the diameter measurement is approximately 5.5 inches. Since this is the largest canister from a set of 3, I want people who are collecting this set or replacing a missing or broken canister to understand exactly which one this particular item is. Now, I know a lot of sellers, because I've looked at a lot of vintage listing photos on both Etsy and eBay. They don't really care about the sides and the scratched up bottom of their photo box showing. But I am the one who does care because I want my shop to have a certain look. Just like if you walked into my brick and mortar store, I would want my store to have a certain look. So I do take this extra time that it takes to improve these photos one by one, not 10 at a time like we used to be able to do, to get them ready for my listing. Was it easier when Canva had the product photo app? Absolutely. Can I achieve the same look by doing it myself, one photo at a time? Yes, I can, and I definitely think it's worth the time that it takes me to do it. Okay, I'm starting here on my Canva screen. I've already chosen a 2000 by 2000 background, and I have put my background choice in here. Now, this is the background that I use for all of my product photos. I have it saved in my brand kit. I have already uploaded my photos, and looks like I uploaded them twice actually. So I'm going to start with the main photo. Now, this does not look that great, does it? The first thing I'm going to do is just crop it. I don't always crop, but it makes it a little bit easier to make them larger if you crop first. So I will now click Background Remover, which is a paid service on Canva. And I am going to make this item just about as big as I can. I want to make sure it's centered. Let's see. Here's the exact center. And that's down a little too low. I want it up a little higher. So that was all I had to do. Now I'm just going to come over here, and I generally, just for brevity, I number these as I do them, and then I go back and I rename all of them when I'm done. So I will save that. I'm going to save it as a PNG file. Okay, as soon as that's saved, I'm going to click back into here, delete that. I'll go to my next photo, which is the photo of the lid. Remove the background. Make it just about as big as I can. I'm just going to assume that they know that's the lid. That doesn't look centered to me. I'm going to make it, I'm going to eyeball it to where I like it. I'm going to call this one number 2, and I will save this as well. Okay, that one's saved. Click out of it, delete it. My next picture shows the inside of the lid. I just remove the background. And this one, I'm going to want to make sure that that canister goes all the way to the top, otherwise it looks cut off. So I'm going to just make this a little bit larger. It looks pretty good. This I will call number 3, and I will save this. That one's saved. Now I will get rid of that. The next one I'm going to do is showing the rim of the canister without the lid on it. And of course I want to pull that bottom down so it doesn't look like it's cut off. And that's a really good picture of the rim. Call it number 4, and I will download that one as well. Okay, the next one I will do is the bottom of the jar. I think it's so cool that this canister has such a pretty bottom. Most manufacturers would probably leave that plain on the bottom, but not Indiana Glass. Okay, that looks pretty well centered. This is photograph number 5, and I'll download that. Okay, that one's downloaded. Click into it, delete it. The next one I will be doing, I guess, is the height. And again, this one is really wide. I don't want to have to be dragging it too far. So I'll just crop that and remove the background. Now on this one, I'm going to want to make sure that the ruler goes all the way to the top of the photo so it doesn't look like it was cut off. You can see very well that looks like it's 9 inches tall. This is photo number 6. Next, I just have the photo showing the diameter. And there it is. I'm going to pull it up, make sure that it's fairly well centered. I don't know, I could bring it make it a little bit bigger just so it shows up really well. And this is photograph number 7. And I'll download that. So back in my file folder, I have all of my photos here now. And what I'm going to do is rename them all at one time. You do want to have your photo files named, because Google takes a look at those as well as your titles and descriptions and tags. So I will just call this Vintage Indiana Glass Tiaras Chantilly large canister. And there we have it. I have all of my product photos ready. For the thumbnail, I use a styled inspiration photo, and I always ask ChatGPT, almost always, to create the background for that styled photo. And I'm going to be very clear about that, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not using AI to change the item, improve the condition, hide flaws, or make the piece look like something that it isn't. The actual item is shown in clear product photos, those ones we just did in Canva, showing close-ups, measurements, and condition details. The styled image is simply there to help the buyer imagine the piece in a home setting, and for me, I use it as my thumbnail. Whenever I use a styled image, I use a specific prompt, and then I check it against my product photo to make sure it has not changed in the process. I give ChatGPT very specific instructions about the look I want, and I always check to make sure it hasn't misrepresented the product in the styled photo. So here's the prompt I used for this canister. Please create a styled background for this exact 9 inches tall, 5.5 inches in diameter canister without changing any of its details or proportions. Make the photo 2000 by 2000 and show the exact item. And then I had imagined it sitting on a neutral kitchen counter that makes the green color pop. And this is what I got, and I was very happy with it. You can see it's the exact item from my product photo, just with a styled background behind it. I always check for absolute accuracy. The product itself should look the same in both photos, even though the background's different. One thing I've been really struggling with lately, since I got back to Michigan, is my product videos, because here I don't have a beautiful sunny Florida filming setup on my dining room table in the evening with perfect lighting like I had when I was in Florida. Some of my videos have just looked horrible. I've tried replacing backgrounds, I've tried using a lazy Susan, and lately I've been experimenting with Canva to see if it can help me create short listing videos from my photos. This took so much trial and error, but I want to give you a quick little demo here of what I've finally learned about how to do that. First, we start with a 2000 by 2000 picture, and I'm starting with the styled photo background that the ChatGPT made for me, with my photo superimposed upon it with the background removed. So what I have in mind for this video is the curtains blowing in the wind behind it. And let's see what this can do. I'm going to click on it so that it shows it's selected. You can see these white dots around it. And I'm going to choose Edit. And then I'm going to come over here and choose Image to Video. Now, after I show you this part of the demonstration, I will show you what happens if you choose Smart. I'm going to choose Custom. Now, a few different times I chose custom, and I tried to write out a long prompt like I write out for the ChatGPT. That did not work. That was too much for this Canva AI to be able to handle. So all I'm going to type in is curtains blowing in the wind, slow pan, no human hands. And I don't want any humans in it. That's the subject of a different video, but I'm trying to avoid that. So I'm going to ask it then, after that little prompt, to create a 5-second video. And it takes longer than 5 seconds to create the 5-second video. Once I show you this, I will show you a few other ones that I have made that I'm happy with. You can watch your progress bar over here. And so there you see, the curtains are blowing behind it, and it's panning in on it. I like this little video. Now, here's the problem I had when I first started doing this. I was not clicking done over here. I was just saving it. But you have to click done first. And then once you have the video and Canva knows it's done, it's processed it, make sure it's still working, then I'm going to share it. I'm going to make sure that when I download it, I choose MP4 video. I'm going to now download it. It takes a while to download. You just have to wait. I forgot to name it, but I'll name it here shortly before I save it. Then I click Save. I want to go back to that file and open it up and make sure that it works before I list it, or before I put it in my listing. So here's the video I just saved. Let's click on it on my computer and make sure it works before I use it in my listing, and it does. Here are a few other videos that I made. They're 5 seconds, they're short. All I asked is just slow pan, no human hands. And these are the videos I'm getting. I'm very, very happy with these. Now, be careful that you don't choose to just take that smart option and let Canva decide how they're going to create the video, because you can get some scary, surprising results. As you can see from these two items here, that I decided to let the Canva AI just make any video that they wanted. What I want to do is ask it to do a slow pan with no human hands. If there's a curtain that can blow in the wind, great. If there's a candle that can be flickering, that's great also. Now, this is only a 5-second video, but I'm pretty happy with this, either as a second video in my listing or as the main video. So for now, that's my current photo and video routine. Every photo doesn't have to look magazine perfect, but I want my shop to feel intentional when someone visits it. For me, the goal is not to hide what the item actually looks like. It's actually the opposite. I want the customer to see the piece clearly, to understand its size and its condition, and also be able to imagine how it might look in their own home. And I tried not to hold on to this piece too much in this video, because I know a few people were nervous about me holding on to those crystal candlesticks in a couple videos ago a little bit too much. So I tried to leave this one on the table behind me. Now, since I no longer have that Canva Product Photos app, it does take more time for my photos, but I still think it's worth it. If you sell vintage, I'd love to know how much time you spend on your listing photos. Are you mostly keeping them simple, or are you trying to create a more collected shop look too? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.